Classic All-Star Wrestling, featuring the greatest matches of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And now, here is your host, Adam Parsons.
Fans, hello and welcome once again. Classic All-Star Wrestling. If you thought last week's main event was good, wait until you see these matches this week. It seems like each and every week we get to see more top stars and more top matchups here on Classic All-Star Wrestling. We start things off with a match from ICW. It is Pistol Pez Whatley against Doug Vines. Pez Whatley recently just inducted into the legacy wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. That should tell you something. Fans, he was groundbreaking for what he did in college before he ever got through the professional ranks. At the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, he was the first black wrestler on the amateur wrestling team. He was set school records for powerlifting, NCAA records for powerlifting. And here he is against Doug Vines, one half of the Devil's Duo with Jeff Swords, in our opening match contest. Fans, after that, you'll get to see Canada's greatest athlete. It's Iron Mike Sharpe, and he's taking on the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And then, fans, we will come back to a very special main event, and I'll give you all the details on that after we come back from looking at these great two classic matches.
As Whatley gains the first advantage, and it is quickly countered with an armbar by Doug Vines. Referee Ed Marcy side headlock by Pez Whatley. Referee Ed Marcy, catching Pez Whatley, pulling the hair, calls for the break. Whatley looks like he wants to try a test of strength. Doug Vines is buckling under the pressure of Whatley's strength. There's two kicks to the heart. And a big headbutt sends Doug Vines down. Whatley, a little too nonchalant, is greeted by a punch to the midsection. Beautiful reversal by Doug Vines. Vines is getting rough. The referee ruins his momentum. He has to let Whatley get out of the corner. Side headlock by Vines. Body tackle. Doug Vines is in control. Side headlock. Takeover. But you've got to watch Whatley. He's a mountain of strength. If he gets the advantage, Doug Vines will be all in. The referee cannot call what he does not see. That time the referee caught Whatley. Whatley's having his own private wars with the fans. Those forearm blows seem a lot different coming from a man that strong, and those body slams. They really can shake you up. Whatley's one of the strongest men in the world. Side salto by Whatley. He has this match in control. There's a beautiful drop kick. That's probably the best powerhouse dropkick in wrestling, and it's good enough to give Pez Whatley the victory over Doug Vines.
Whoa! Boy, Iron Mike Sharpe started this one off, I mean in a hurry, and maybe that's the only way he figured. The NWA Mid-America Heavyweight title match is underway, challenging for the title, Randy Savage against the champion, Iron Mike Sharpe. Randy, two big guys, Sharpe even bigger than the 235-pound Randy Savage.
That's right, Lance, but Savage being one of the all-time wild and woolly wrestlers. As you said in the ring announcement, they former Mid-America champion Savage in trouble now as Mike Sharpe snaps him down. Sharpe absolutely hammering away on the Macho Man. Sends him into the turnbuckle, and there goes Randy Savage out of the way, and now Sharpe better watch out for Randy Savage. Randy, with those fists firing away at Mike Sharpe. Savage climbs the ropes, and look at him go. Pounding away at the Mid-America Heavyweight Champion. Oh, here comes Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. He hits the ring. And a minute and a half, the official time of disqualification. Why in the world? Eddie Hot Stuff Gilbert, with the attitude that he has had the last several weeks, he comes in with Jimmy R calling him in. Mike Sharpe and Gilbert all over Randy Savage. This is ridiculous. Gilbert and Iron Mike Sharpe. Telling him, here comes Lanny Poffo. That'll put a stop to it. Lanny comes in. Goes after Mike, and he hammers away at Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Look at Lanny go. And Mike Sharpe, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, lead the ring. 131. Savage wins a minute and a half. The Mid-America Heavyweight Championship title will stay with Mike Sharpe because of the disqualification. Randy Savage, the winner by disqualification, but he does not win the title.
Well, You got to see those great two classic matches, and right now we have a very interesting match for you. We often talk about, I say it each and every week, we got the top stars of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, but it's not very often that we get into the late 80s and into the early 90s. But you're going to get to see a look at a match right here. This match has not been shown on television since it aired almost 35 years ago. It's Wildfire Tommy Rich against Terry Bam Bam Gordy. This is from Jerry Blackwell's Southern Wrestling, which was a territory, like a minor territory, in Georgia in the late 80s. But the interesting thing about this feud is, or this match, is that the roles are reversed here. Tommy Rich had turned his back on the fans, and they bring in a bounty hunter. And who's the man collecting this bounty on Tommy Rich? None other than 1/3 of the fabulous Freebirds and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. So fans, take a look at this match from the Alpharetta Auction Barn in Alpharetta, Georgia. And come back to us next week to see all the top stars of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s on Classic All-Star Wrestling. Let's go to that main event.
During that break, Gordon Clements went back to the dressing room and spoke with both Tommy Rich and Terry Gordy, and he has told them there must be a match, that Tommy Rich obviously was faking that injury, and there must be a match. Now they've got to get Joel Deaton out of the ring. They must get Joel out of the ring, and now Tommy must defend the title. And I think this says a lot for Gordon Clements and for the people here at Southern Championship Wrestling. Now, Tommy Rich is trying to tell the referee that Joel Deaton should have to leave the ring. The referee has started counting Tommy Rich out. All right. The referee calls for the bell, and here it goes. Tommy Rich against Terry Gordy, and Gordy has fire in his eyes over what Tommy Rich and his entourage tried to pull. Terry Gordy giving it to Tommy Rich, throws him into the ropes, breaks him off, big backdrop, cuts off. All right, this is the match that we expected. I can't believe Tommy Rich thought he was going to get away with something as bad as coming out and claiming an injury that everybody knew was fake. And Terry Gordy just putting the boots out of Tommy Rich left and right, and Tommy Rich out on the floor. Tommy Rich in some serious trouble now, and as I don't think he thought he was going to have to put the title on the line, but a reminder, the title is on the line as Terry Gordy faces Tommy Wildfire Rich. Now there's a great shot. Tommy's gone down into his truck. Terry Gordy better be careful. Tommy Rich has gone down into his truck. Terry Gordy is not a newcomer. He knows what's going on. He's being cautious. But Tommy Rich went down into his truck to pull out something. The crowd trying to tell him. And sure enough, Tommy Rich put the fist into the already lacerated forehead of Terry Gordy and now gains the upper hand by using some sort of foreign object that we saw him go into his trunk for. Terry Gordy now bleeding from the forehead. And here goes. He's going to do a pile driver. This will put Gordy out. Already lacerated. This will put Gordy out, but Gordy he doesn't want to go. And Tommy Wildfire Rich goes for a ride, and now out of the ring, Gordy goes after him. But Gordy sees the entourage. Now this is where the experience of someone like Terry Gordy comes into focus. A less experienced man might have gone running out into that crowd, right into the entourage of Tommy Rich. Gordy took one look, realized the smart thing to do was to get back in the ring and make Tommy Rich come to him. And that's exactly what he did. We heard Gordy say it's been a long time since he's had a title. And that's what he was looking for, and this is his opportunity to get a title match again. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Tommy Rich putting his hand out saying, let's be friends. All I've done is stab you in the back last week, hit you with a crutch from behind this week, but we can still be friends. I don't think Terry Gordy will go for that, but he is. They're shaking hands now. Look at them. They're looking at each other in the eye. Oh, Tommy Rich tried to kick. And he ends up getting a clothesline. Tommy Rich is down. Terry Gordy going after that foot. All right. He's going to go for the scorpion leg lock. He's got those legs crossed. He's got the legs crossed. He's going for a scorpion. And here comes Scrap Iron. They're surrounding the ring. Here comes Joel Deaton. This could turn into a melee at any moment. Joel Deaton in that crutch on one side, Scrap Iron in a chair on the other. Terry Gordy's got a half Boston Crab on Tommy Rich. He was trying for a scorpion, but he let go of it when he saw the other people come into the ring. Right now, Terry Gordy's up. Tommy Rich with a fist to the face, trying to break the hold. All right, Terry Gordy breaks it his own way, and there's a spinning toe hold. He's trying for the figure four. Will he be able to clamp on a figure four? Dropping down right across that knee and that leg. Terry Gordy now putting immense pressure on the leg of the Southern champion, Tommy Wildfire Rich. Rich in pain right now as Terry Gordy bends that knee, bends that leg, laying across it. He's got that leg scissored, and Tommy Rich is in a lot of pain trying for the hair, but the Wolfman catches him, breaks it up. Tommy comes up and puts that leg right down across the bridge of the nose of Terry Gordy, but there's been some damage to the leg of Tommy Wildfire Rich. Tommy Rich throws Terry Gordy outside. Gordy comes down right on those knees. Here comes Tommy Rich. The action goes to the outside of the ring now. Gordy, right into our chest. Tommy Rich was going to throw Terry Gordy, but he came out of it, and now he's going for a figure four out on the floor. He's going for a figure four out on the floor, but Scrap Iron is standing there. Scrap Iron is standing there and keeps him from a figure four. Tommy Rich is hurt. Tommy Rich is outside the ring. We could have had a fall. Now a count going on Tommy Rich. If he is counted out, he will lose the Southern Heavyweight title. Scrap Iron trying to get Tommy back into the ring. Tommy has taken a beating from Terry Gordy. Now Terry comes in and breaks the count. Tommy Rich is down, though. He was run head first, face first. Well, now wait a minute. Terry Gordy doesn't want him counted out of the ring. Terry Gordy has stopped the count. He wants Tommy Rich back in the ring. He wants to win this title on a pin or a submission. And Tommy Rich is literally crawling back into the ring. A low blow. Now that's the only way I know to say it. Tommy Rich put a headbutt into a low blow, and there's a knee, and that was awful close. I can't say that that was a low blow, but it was awful close. And now Terry Gordy and Tommy Rich are both down. Tommy Rich using a fist to the face of Terry Gordy. Rich had better remember that Gordy is the best brawler in the wrestling business, and if he wants to brawl, oh, Terry Gordy says, let's hit it some more. The action back outside the ring. It's fifth and fifth now against the ring. And this time it's Gordy that goes into our death. They're taking each other out. They're into the crowd now in the chairs. The count's going on. The referee's up to an 8 count. 9 count. 10 count. That's it. The referee has called for the bell, and both men were counted out of the ring. Terry Gordy took Tommy Rich to the limit. A count out. There's the man that, in my opinion, could be the next Southern heavyweight champion. We'll be back. We've got a timeout to take, and we'll be back with that 6-man tag match right after this.